What a Wednesday.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. Woo woo wet.
Boom. You're good. All right. So we are on Facebook Live. So supposedly it's on my Facebook feed, right? Oh, there it is.
It definitely is.
There it is right
Me
there.
making faces and everything.
I got to make
Hope
sure
y'all enjoy
I
the
mute
smile.
this. Because he's got teeth on his smile.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got the teeths.
Hi, Mom. Andres, what's up?
What up, everybody?
All right. So today we're going to make this a Q&A session while James and I kind of just jive and talk some stuff for today because...
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I'm actually on the show.
Weird, huh?
What?
What a new experience we're having, that kind of flashback experience.
Yeah, I know,
today.
right?
Are we recording the show
Throwback
yet?
Thursday? No, not yet.
Oh,
We're
okay,
about to go. You ready to go for audio?
Yeah, let's kick the audio down. Let's do
All
it.
right, let's
do it.
kick the audio in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros. Wow,
Wow.
it was just the two of us.
So yeah, at least it sounds like it's serenading in, right?
Right, yeah. It's totally legit. You know, we kind of have that practice. We've been doing this for a long time now. Man.
It's got a nice pitch. It's kind of weird to be, not having a guest on the show today.
It is.
It
is. It's definitely weird. It's definitely different. We did have a late cancellation. So, it tends.
It's
turns out
San
it's just you and
Diego.
me.
It's San Diego. There's rain out. There's kids that get sick. Things tend to happen on a daily basis.
Wet out there.
Yeah, it's not
What is up with
super
that?
wet, but it is wet. All right.
It was wet enough for me to leave my bike at Coronado.
Yeah. You weren't.
Mom, you'll be happy to hear that. I did not ride home in the rain.
Yeah, I picked them up, Mama. I picked them up. So, So I completely understand when we have cancellations and the show must go on.
The show must go on. Are we in show business now?
I don't know about show business, but
we're
in business and we have a show.
I like it.
So that's the deal right now. So let's see.
You know what? Let's start with this, man. Let's talk about the event we went to last night.
Oh, well, the Erica and Zabi and Jose and Anthony and who else was? Oh, and Fugatti,
yeah. And there were so many people there, first of all.
There were a lot of people.
We're dropping names. So those of you, if you scroll down a little bit, on your feed, you're probably going to see some photos that Nan and I were tagged in. It was a really cool event. Beautiful, big house. Where was it at?
Oh my gosh. Del Sur, I think it is.
Del Sur.
It's a beautiful home. Out of my personal price range.
Well, for now.
But the Anthony, who was essentially the investor who came in and bought the property and did the rehab, did a fabulous job. This is a $2.8 million listing that we went to.
Oh, 2.8.
I think it was 2.8, 2.3. I'm not exactly sure.
I was thinking 2.3, but whatever.
2.3. It might have been 2.3. But still, the point is, this place was fantastic. I'm talking about my own Instagram feed. If you guys want to go to @BusinessBrosPod, I'll show you a quick glimpse of the bathroom. It was just amazing. Put it this way: if you ever walk into a house and the bathroom has a his and a hers toilet, that's what was going on in that one. James walked into the one of the bedrooms and it had a nice bathroom, shower, everything like really nice. And he walked in, he's like, "This is the size of my studio."
Yeah, and it was.
It was.
It pretty much was the size of my studio. It's like the whole thing plus the bathroom on the other side. And actually, I think the closet in that bedroom is bigger than my closet in my studio.
Oh yeah, that closet was huge. It was massive. Everything in this house was done to the T. From the sound system, from the quality of the products, from the detail and the colors and the schemes and the wine fridges and the kegerators and everything was done 100%. So the house itself was amazing, right? But even more so was the reason that we were there. So we were there to launch, to put this house essentially on the market. So that was Erica's listing. So it was going on the market officially. But at the same time, it was also a Creative House Productions launch event.
Yep.
So Jose and Visionary Media put together this super awesome promo for the listing, and we got to have a glimpse of it last night. The rest of you, I think, came out about 20 minutes ago. So if you want to check out Jose's page or Zabi's page, or probably my page, my Instagram page, it got posted. I'm sure I got tagged on that one too.
Creative House Design,
Creative House Productions,
my
right?
bad.
Because it's a partnership between Jose and Zabi, and so they posted the premiere, and let me tell you, dude. The quality of that video, like HGTV status.
HGTV status. It was so good, man. Well, I mean, when you have the material that you do with that quality of a house, big shout out to Anthony. Do you remember his last name?
I don't remember his last name.
Oh man, but
I
Anthony,
got his card somewhere.
Yeah, you got his card. But Anthony, the investor out there, he did such an awesome job. He took me on a personal tour, walked me around the whole thing, was telling me how it's he based it off of 1920s historical architecture and the beams and everything that he did. Man, it was just such a great little place, man. Such a great, it was amazing. I say little place, but such a great huge place.
Yeah, I think it was like 6,000 square feet or something, dude. Like you can get lost in that house.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
so no, it was awesome. And then we got to see some people that have been on the podcast, some people that are gonna be on the podcast. Shout out to Caroline. She's on the show here.
Yep.
She was at the event last night, and we got to meet her in person. She's one of the people that we've had scheduled to be on the podcast, but due to other events happening, we had to reschedule her. But now we got to meet her in person, which is kind of cool. We usually don't get to meet the people ahead of time in person, but in this case we did.
Yeah, and also we had Serena. Shout out to Serena. She was there as well.
Yeah.
She was on the show earlier this week, and she was there at the event. A lot of people. Jose and Zabi, of course. Who else was there? Pam and Suzanne. Yep, right? Over there.
So we met quite a few people. It was a great trip after all, and that's one of the things that I love to credit to this podcast and what we've been doing is that the consistency of us getting on the show and putting out content every day has allowed us to increase our sphere, which is something that we've been telling our agents that we coach our insurance agents on every single day, is to find a way to increase your sphere.
Right.
Find a way to get in front of people and tell them what it is you do. And the podcast, nicely enough, does that for us.
Yeah.
Every single day we're in front of people that are in business. I just got the tag right now, by the way.
There it is. It just dropped.
It just dropped. So Zabi just dropped the video. So if you go to my to my Instagram or to my Facebook, see, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna approve the tag. So I'll share it right now so you guys can see that video. It's pretty cool.
90-second spot, and it's worth every second. Definitely check it out, at least to appreciate the work that these guys have put into it. If not, hey, maybe you're in the market for a $2.3 million house.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely something beautiful. So anyways, back to the sphere, right? So we're able to basically go out and talk to people, tell them what it is we do. Now, the nice thing about our podcast is it's also opened up a way to bring value to other people. And that's another part of the coaching program that we like to put out is how do you get in front of people and bring something of value, right? I think that one of the great podcasts that we had that was eye-opening for me was with Andy Cruz and taking a look at how we're doing our social media and what we're doing with social media and what were the
4 steps?
It was invisibility, visibility, credibility, and then profitability.
There you go.
Right? And that's kind of cool to understand where you're at and not just understand where like we're at individually, but now we can kind of look at people in their business and their situation where they're at individually and say, this is where you're at with your audience. This is where we need to get to.
You know me, I'm all about systems and processes. And all that is exactly that. It's a system. It's a process. It's, hey, step 1, you're invisible. People don't know even who you are, right? Step 2, you're visible. People at least know who you are, right? But maybe they don't trust you enough to do business yet. Step 3 is the credibility. That's when people actually believe in you and want to do business with you because you have a proven track record. So getting over that hump, that's going to be where your biggest challenge is. Becoming visible, getting your name out there, getting your face recognized, getting in front of people, telling them what it is you do, that just takes work. That just takes consistency. That just takes what you've been doing with your social media and engaging with the people around you. But getting that credibility, that's the next step. That's the next hump. And I think that's where we can really help people.
Absolutely. And here's the thing about when you're ready to accept the help It's that you're ready to put yourself in a position where you're telling a coach or you're telling a mentor or you're telling someone that I don't know what I don't know. I do not know the answer to this particular question. I'm stuck. I've plateaued. I haven't closed the number of deals. I haven't made the number of transactions. I haven't reached the financial figure that I'm looking for. I am stuck, right? And one of the podcasts that we're listening to today, which is part of our coaching program, right? Tim and Julie Harris's podcast. And I love when Tim goes on his rants because he kind of yells at you and just basically calls you on your stuff. And it's one of those things where you have to look in the mirror, right? You as the agent out there, he was saying on his podcast, you, the agent out there, have you looked in the mirror? Have you asked yourself, am I where I want to be right now? Have I closed the number of deals that I needed to close so far this year right now? Have you? I mean, that's a question you have to ask yourself. If you have not, right? If you're thinking back a month, 2 months, 5 months, 7 months, a year, and you haven't done the work or closed the deals or made the money that you've trying to reach in that time frame, you're doing something wrong. Right? And if you're not reaching that goal and you're not making that effort and you're doing something wrong, then turn it around. Find something else. Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. So if you've been stuck in a rut, either financially, maybe you have a job and you're stuck in a rut, you got to look at the way you're handling your funds, because we're talking financially here, right? There's a bunch of other stuff we can go into here. But maybe you're stuck in a rut. You got to look at what you're doing. If you're in sales and you haven't reached your sales quota, it's because you're doing something wrong. And what did we used to say on our intro, Ham?
Well, Einstein also said problems cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them.
Problems cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. That means that if you're constantly out there doing the wrong thing, but thinking it's the right thing because you don't see the problem in front of you, you need an outside opinion. That's where coaching comes in, or that's where good mentoring comes in. That's why I like teams like Anthony
Manzon.
Anthony Manzon's a team. Kevin came in and spoke highly about getting them on track, right? Dean Aguilar, Truth Hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So he's another good inspirational team. And then we got to talk to Aphrodite.
Dean and Aphrodite.
Yeah, then we got to talk to Aphrodite. and
Like...
that kind of takes a glimpse as to what they do, right? They're looking for people to help them understand why they're going to get up in the morning. Why is it that they're going to do? Aphrodite really got me thinking about these affirmations, and it hasn't left me at all about figuring out, do I even have a vision board? Do I even want a vision board? Do I have any affirmations? Do I even want affirmations? Right?
Well, we talked a little bit about it. Vision boards can take on a couple of different forms, I guess, or formats. For me, lately, it's been my Amazon wish list. That's my vision board. But I think, Aphrodite, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think what Aphrodite is talking about is something like what's behind your head right now, which is an actual board where you will post the things that you want. You'll take a picture, cut out a picture out of a magazine of a car that you want or a house that you want or whatever it is. And when you see that thing, that's the inspiration that keeps your passion, that keeps that fire burning.
Right. Well, it's that thing that where you sit down get ready to make your calls and you're thinking about dialing that number and you're thinking about hitting send, but you don't actually do it. Right. And what is it that gets you to the level that you want to do it? Well, that's where these affirmations or that's where these vision boards come in handy. You look up and you're like, the reason why I need to make this call is because I want to go to Europe. I want to close 5 deals this month. I want to, whatever it is that your affirmation or your goal is, that's what you look at to say, okay, that is the reason why I need to hit that green button on the phone and dial that freaking number.
Okay. All right. So we've been having this conversation, you and me. We've been going back and forth a little bit. Oh, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
All right.
Hashtag passionate professionals. Hashtag passionate professionals.
All right. We've been going back and forth on this one for a while. Right?
We have been.
Okay, here's the argument that James and I have been having, and you guys can chime in here in the comments and let us know what you think. So he's going with hashtag passionate professionals, right? Passionate professionals. He's saying you need to have the passion to be successful, and I'm more like, you don't need the passion. The passion comes after you take the action.
Speaking of Aphrodite, what's up? She's on the call.
Yeah. Hey, Aphrodite. So passionate professionals. Maybe she can comment. And let's see what she thinks. So James says, again, I'm gonna say it again so Aphrodite can hear it, right? James says you need to be passionate to get yourself into motion and start doing things.
That actually isn't what I'm saying. That actually isn't what I'm saying.
All right, correct.
See, this is where I think we're having the disagreement. What I'm saying is that I notice that a lot of the professionals that we've been talking to are passionate.
Yes.
Right? And that's all it is not necessarily that you have to have it before you get started, but you do have to get there at some point. It's what's gonna keep you moving. It's what's gonna keep you going. And you have to figure out inside of yourself what that passion is, right? So it's not enough to just say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the things that I don't want to do when I don't want to do it at the highest level. Because if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a passion, if you don't have a drive, there's something missing.
Okay, I'll give you that much. But here's the downside of that. We talked yesterday to Philip Morgan, right? And he's just getting started in his business, right? And that's one of those things where you might have passion at the very beginning just because you got started. That's like an agent who just gets their license, or an insurance agent who just gets their license. They're fresh out the boat. They just got out there and started doing something.
Or how about every single one of us on January 1st?
Exactly. But the passion is only going to get you like a week or two in. And that's where that passion maybe gets them to the gym for a little while. That passion at the beginning maybe gets them started.
But I don't think that's passion.
Okay, what's the difference?
That's passion. The difference is when you have a passion, you have a burning desire. There is nothing that's going to satisfy you except to get that thing that you want. Somebody who's just getting up to go to the gym because they said that that's what they're going to do come January 1st, that's not passion. Somebody who wants to be a rock star bodybuilder, that's passion.
All right. Here's another side to it then, okay? Because I'll compare my two kids. I got Mila and Liam.
Oh
right?
boy, here we go.
They get up at 5:20 in the morning is when I wake them up, right? And I go downstairs and they hear my footsteps and I flip the light on, right, for each of their rooms. And Mila kind of stretches and pops up and gets going. Liam takes his sweet time and he doesn't want to get up.
Why would he? It's 5:20 in the morning.
I get it. But what's the difference, right? What's the difference? These are the two types of personality types that we're going to be talking to, that we talk to out there in the world. When we talk to our real estate agents, when we talk to our insurance agents, there's those two types of people, right? And Aphrodite was talking about, and Annie even sent us the books about doing things in the morning to get yourself in purpose so that you're working, so that by 8 o'clock in the morning, essentially, you're off to a running start. But how do you inspire? Where's the passion come from to get those people who have a hard time getting out of bed? That's just inherent in some people. They're not morning people.
That doesn't have anything to do with passion, though.
But for me, it's if you just pop out of bed and start doing, you're gonna get the energy to go, right? And sure. that to me is the hard part. That's the disconnect I get with the passion part. I'm like, just take the action. Yeah, the passion will follow.
It does. I mean, let's take this podcast and me as a perfect example, right?
Right.
First few episodes,
you did not have the passion to do this.
Did not have the passion to do this, but I took action, kept going with it, and the passion, sure enough, did follow, right? And that's to your point. You know, you don't have to have the passion to get started. You have to have the passion to keep going.
Well, and that's the thing. The action, the continuous action, and what we did developed the passion, right? And I same thing. And that's what I'm trying to say is that for people who are just getting started and they're trying to spend all their time figuring out their why, to me, that's like, well, just start doing it. Yeah. And you're going to figure out the why as you go along, right? But you need to take action. You need to actually follow a course and start just doing things. And then once you're in progression, once you're moving, then we can guide the ship in a certain direction.
So I'm curious. I want to find out from some of our people. You know, I'm going to tag our buddy Energy, Brian Landeros, and I'm going to ask him, you know, what is the passion? What is the driving force? Because you're right. You know, there are some people that do have to push a little bit harder, you know, and that drive isn't necessarily there right away, but it develops, and eventually it's there. But once it's there, you know, there's no other outcome that you'll accept except for the realization of your goals.
Right. I totally agree with that.
So what gets people? How do you cross that bridge? How do you?
I've heard this type of I don't know, thought process in a lot of different people's stuff. Gary Vee, for example, he's like, one of the greatest things that you can do is become self-aware. And once you understand what it is that you're good at and what it is that you want to do, then you're going to go out and just only do that. I heard the same thing from Melina Palmer when she was talking about, I think it was Warren Buffett, where you can write a list of 20 things that you want to achieve in life and then narrow them down to 3 and only focus on those 3 because everything else becomes a distraction. It's almost always saying the same thing, but what they are saying is you have to do these things. You have to figure out what it is to take action. Everything else will follow suit. For me, it's like, Gary Vee, how do you become self-aware? I can't get a 17-year-old to tell me what the heck they want to do in life. Because I've been 17.
Ain't gonna know what the hell he wants to do.
I know, and that's my point. Is where do they drive this passion if they have no idea where they're gonna go? Once you figure out your why, that would be ideal. That would be awesome. That would be amazing. Where does that come from? And here's the other thing. That why to me is gonna be always changing. 10 years ago, my why is different than where it is right now.
Sure.
And that's one of those things where I'm like, well, what is it then? Or is it defined? Or does it change? When can I change it? How can I change it? Right? And then you get all this time spent on your freaking why and you're not taking any action.
I think that's part of the vision boards too.
Yeah, but
that's a big part of what the vision boards do. So you're absolutely right that your why changes, your passions change, your goals change. 10 years ago, you weren't worried about providing a life for your kids. They weren't around.
They didn't exist.
Well, Mila just barely, but okay, I mean, still 11 years ago, then fine. But, you weren't worried about that then. Right. Now it's like, I'm doing this because I want to make sure that, Mila and Liam go to the college that whatever college that they want to, and they don't have to worry about this and they don't have to worry about that. They have this nice roof over their heads, with this gorgeous view, by the way. Woo, check that out.
Beautiful sunset.
Beautiful. But your drive, your passion changes. And for me, 10, 11 years ago, I definitely wasn't thinking about some of the things that I am now. But now, if I had a vision board, I would have the jungles of Brazil. I would have elephants in the wild. I would have a sick-ass RV.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, but here's my problem is there are already a number of egotistical, and I don't mean ego like self-centered. I mean like fear ego, right? There are a number of ego things that are already stopping people from taking action. I fear that if I go out and say things like, well, you have to figure out your why. Well, you have to come up with affirmations. Well, you have to do these things. There are more things that you have to do to get ready to do something. You get what I'm saying? These are things that a person who has not taken action is now going to add another thing that they quote unquote have to do to take action.
No way. Not at all. And that is definitely not what I would recommend either. Look, you're absolutely right. As you go through the motions, as you start putting one foot in front of the other and making your way through this thing that we call life, you're going to figure out all these different things that you want. And it's not about wait until you know what you want to take action. It's take action and figure out what it is that you want and let those things drive you. Let those things be what gets you up in the morning. And let those things be what reminds you in those moments when you feel doubtful, when you feel fearful, when you feel like you're not doing enough, when you have those days when it just the world feels like it's crumbling around you because a deal didn't go right, because you had a cancellation on your schedule, because you whatever, anything that you are going through, you can look back at those things and say, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I see. And for me, I don't know. See, today was kind of a messed up day for me. Everything got switched around. Things that normally I'm pretty scheduled out and I know what's happening in my day. Well, today, for whatever reason, I didn't have things in the right spot. We had cancellations. I didn't know about certain things happening that I was supposed to be attending. Like, my whole day got all messed up. But for me, it's one of those things where I look back and I'm like, well, that was my fault. Like, I didn't read the memo, or I didn't put the event in my calendar, or I didn't check that voicemail, or whatever it is. For me, it's my fault.
Sure.
And so because it's my fault, I didn't have to reset and do anything. I'm just like, okay, well, okay, let's move on to the next thing. Like for me personally, it doesn't ruin my day because I'm thinking, okay, well, that didn't work. What's the next action? That didn't work. What's the next action? And that's a different mindset. Like I said, I have two different kids in my life, and they're completely different mindsets. Because I know if what happened to Mila or what happened to me today happened to Mila, she would have the same mindset of what's next. But if the same thing happened to Liam, it could destroy his day. He wouldn't have made it to this far in the day because he would have so much emotional attachment to those failures, I guess we can call
it. It cracks me up, man. It cracks me up because you're sitting here talking about these two kids like if that's not you and me.
Yeah, well, it is. It is.
It literally is. You're the logical one. I'm the emotional one. I make emotional decisions. Hello, 8 years in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Like this is why I bring this situation up. This is why I bring this topic up and why I'm so passionate about it is because I relate to it. And there are a lot of people like me and Liam that are going to need this kind of extra push, that are going to need this reasoning, that are going to need, the emotional guidance as much as the logical.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I guess that's one of the reasons why, for me, I guess it will always be one of those where I don't need that. It's kind of like what I talk about when I say about church, right? Church is on a need to go basis, and right now I don't need to go. Mm-hmm. But there may be a time in my life where I do need to go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I love about the people we interview, is because some of them do those things. Mm-hmm. Some of them do not. Some of them have figured out a way that works for them, and others have found a way that didn't work for them. Right. And they get to share these stories on the podcast, and we get to kind of experience. I know now that if I'm ever stuck in a hole, I could take time and meditate and realign myself and start it all over. Right. I don't know if I'll use it, but I have a tool in my belt that I can use.
You better learn how to use that tool.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. It's there if I want to use it, and that's what I've loved about what we've been doing here is we've opened up the door to so many different types of thought processes. Yeah. And are there similarities? Yes, there are similarities for sure. Are there differences? There are tons of differences, right? Does every single thing work for every single person? Absolutely not. But we can take pieces of everything and see what does work for us and what doesn't work for us. I don't think we're ever going to come to an agreement here on the take action or be passionate.
Oh, no, I don't think that it's mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't think that you have to do one before the other and not do one and not the other. Like, you can do both.
Right.
Absolutely. It's just, like I said, all I'm noticing is that the people that we interview, the people that we notice are most successful in this business are passionate.
Well, here's what I'm noticing about, if you're going to talk about passion, I'm noticing that they're passionate about being of service to others. Not the successful ones are not commission counting.
Truth.
Right? The ones that are out there that are doing really well, they have made money for sure. But they're all about helping the person who's in front of them, helping that individual solve a particular problem, whether it's cleaning a carpet, getting a loan funded, or helping them buy a home, whatever the situation is. Or
helping them write the insurance for the home.
Or helping them write the insurance for the home, right? Whatever the situation is, or helping the agent learn how to write the insurance. Or helping the real estate agent become a better listing agent. Just throwing it out there. Whatever it is, we're trying to help them. And we know that the dollars are going to come in some way, some form, some other.
All right. Well, I sincerely hope that everybody has enjoyed this Business Bros debate. And we look forward to a lot more passionate professionals.
For sure.
To be on the show in the future.
So we can keep building hashtag powerful relationships, right? I love it. I love it, man. No, really, though, a huge shout out again to all of the people, past and present and future, who are planning to be on the show, who have been on the show, who are watching the show. Mom, as always, love you. Oh, of course.
But I mean, just so many fantastic people that we've been able to surround ourselves with and learn from and, grow alongside of. So big, huge shout out to everybody that has been involved in the Business Bros podcast to this point.
Absolutely. And by the way, if any of you ever want to be on the show, you're considering getting on the show, you need some media content that you want to work on, you want to maybe, spread your wings a little bit, put your name out there, hit us up. At Business Bros Pod is our social media. Hernan at csfirst.com. If you're interested in some real estate coaching, you know what? I want to put somebody else on the spot.
Oh, who's that?
Jonathan. I've helped out Jonathan with some of his listing stuff to help him become a better listing agent. Hit him up.
Jonathan Fisher?
Jonathan Fisher, my boy, the fearless agent.
Fearless agent.
So, ask him, be genuine. Say, hey, did Hernan help me out or did he suck? I want to know. So, hit up Jonathan, see what he says about any of the help I've given him. So that way, if you guys have any questions, I'd love to help you guys out too. Hernan at csfirst.com. And if you have any insurance questions, maybe you want to get an insurance license. Maybe you have an insurance license and you've never learned how to use it. Maybe you just have some business that people ask you to write insurance and you're like, I don't do that. You need somewhere to send it. James at csfirst.com. That's where you need to go with that. All right, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out. We love you, Facebook.
Facebook, you rock. Thanks for joining. Good show.